to make it all the way. But they fell short in the group stage to this very team. And this team might prove to be an obstacle here. The question is, can PPL replicate an undefeated run? Because despite being second place in the group, they are also still undefeated.
Yeah, they got second without losing, so this is kind of a grudge match. Like, hey, you're placing higher than us without us losing to you, and let's show you, we'll show you. But like, they're kind of drafting much more traditional composition here, and I don't know. I have more faith in it, but I think CYBR has that just the factor of like, they're just drafting for fun, I think. And they're making it work. It is Octavia forward and Luna goalie.
Yeah, and this Luna goalie is gonna need to be really on point. It's so easy to lose the barrier so quickly on a map like Yankee Splash Zone, and this offense has to really just take over before average Alex's Slimes can take over. And just like that, the first barrier goes down. Bloom helps out with the primary, and Expo Chan trying to go on the bottom side finds the barrier actually.
Yeah, but there's like a water cannon. There's not much you can do there. As soon as the water cannon just gets taken off and Fiery's in such a good position to extend off of it with that Rasmus secondary, he's almost guaranteed the point as long as Assertive doesn't make some crazy dash play.
Yeah, really well done here, and first barrier already taken as well. So quickly, average Alex with possession. The dash goes wide. Assertive can't get to it in time. It goes around to Expo perhaps, but Fiery keeping possession. Dangerous spot, but PPL can't quite confirm it. The flip stalls out the water cannon, but it still goes to Fiery, but the hit stun's enough.
Yeah, I mean, the flipping in the water cannon like that is only good if it's later on, because otherwise it just gets stalled out and it keeps going anyway. But they might have a chance to take this barrier here. The aiming turret's coming in, but Fiery's defending too well. They can't get it past him.
Yeah, so far the midfield's being completely clogged up here. Assertive to Zoe, looking for damage onto Bloom, actually almost knocking him off the bottom wall. But now Fiery has space. The Slime has space. Good dash by Assertive to barely get it out of there, but it's still such a weird spot to be in with the no barriers.
Octavia does ult, but that's not a situation she can score from. But oh, it does get past Maloom there. Yeah, Fiery's forced to use his flip just to not die to Expo Chan's Cyber Swipe there. They have a much stronger position now than a bit ago. Zoe the Witch has the flip. They're dashing with Luna. Cyber Swipe has a turret coming in, but the offense is dropped.
Yeah,
it's cleared out by Bloom. Oh,
what a clear. Did they get it out of there? But the Slimes are overwhelmed, but the Strike War still won. Still a dangerous spot, but they get out for the moment. And now going to the other side, Expo Chan in dangerous spot, but winning the Strike Wars.
Yeah, the water cannon didn't get much accomplished there. The Luna nuke is down, and they have... Oh, the Octavia Primer gets Strike Ward by Maloom. What a good weight from him.
Yeah, and now on the top side.
Oh,
yeah. But Fiery finds, the pendulum swing, and despite having the flip available, having such a good chance at that point, it's still PPL who take it.
Yeah, Luna missing that dash was very dangerous there, because as soon as she doesn't have that tool to work with, Alex got to just do so much to set up Fiery for the pendulum swing there. And one thing I'd like to point out is that the barrier is always falling very quickly for Cyberswipe, because Luna goalie has a lot of trouble holding versus Rasmus and Juno, both individually and as a duo. And oh, it just fell automatically there as Assertive waited a bit too long.
Yeah, dangerous spot now with no barrier again, and so dangerous against these two particular characters. Like you said, Flip still available for Moon, Water Can still available for PPL. They're holding on to it. They're waiting for the perfect time to transition into offense, but so far, Zoe the Witch keeping the core contained. Expo Chan pushing forward, and Cyberswipe find the barrier, but lose their midfielder.
And with two flips coming in on PPL, I think this power play is... No way!
Whoa!
Oh! Assertive dashes in with the flip and finds a patient upper shot on the highest score there. And Maloom thinks he can strike it so he doesn't flip for it. What a clutch. If they didn't do that goal right there, then it was looking really bad for them.
Yeah, that was such a good goal, and now they have to keep it going here, but the barrier falls early yet again, and what a precise strike by Average Alex.
And 9-second point, as Average Alex just finds the core in the open space, takes the barrier, and sets up a very clean shot in the open net because Assertive just can't reach it.
Really, really clean. And now as we're heading into the draft, what catches your eye? I looked up. I was about to say what catches your eye, but I think I know.
Well, he took Deadeye over 1-2 punch on Gino because he's denying it, but I think I value 1-2 more.
Yeah, I think I value 1-2 more as well. As someone who watched Bozo versus EKC Katsuna.
Yeah, it's a bit of a game changer when she gets that. One thing I am going to point out, though, is that this is a really good time to take a spark for Zoe the Witch, because this is the first set lost and a Spark of Agility on Octavia, if she already has resilience, that's the thing too. So if they start winning sets, there is a genuine, real chance that Zoe the Witch can get 4 Sparks this game.
Oh!
Loses a Strike Ward of the Cyber Swipes turret. Back to Chen's turret there.
Such an uncharacteristic slight mistake coming out from Bloom and Cyber Swipe. You got to be happy about that one, right? Now is when the scaling starts. Every set you get before you're down 0-2 is extra credit.
Yeah, this is a very important set for them to win, I think, because if they can find that spark, if they can find something else for, like, Twin Drive on Assertive for that presence, I think they can start snowballing this game very hard, but they need to really win this set for it. And they're finding it with an open space primary on Amy there. And they have a water cannon to play with here now, too.
Oh, but the barrier's still taken. Despite that, the strike war's won by Average Alex, sending the core forward. Now Expo's going to have to burn to flip pretty soon. Defensively played by Assertive. Good delay, but the Cyber Swipe makes it difficult. Saved away by Assertive just barely, but Fiery still has position. Zoe the Witch there to help out, but Average Alex and Fiery still have the core in their hands. Secondary in, and they send it right into Fiery, who will say thank you as he evens up the set.
That was a great walk back from Fiery. It baited out Zoe's strike, so Zoe had to walk backwards, so he got a much easier time to score there. If he just went right in, I think it would have just gotten layered.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens here. Fiery looking forward. Flip available for Assertive. Average Alex brought halfway, but still surviving, and Fiery's flip is so scary to deal with here.
Yeah, but the offense here is really good. Octavia's ulting to keep that possession, keep the flow state, and get her flip there. And she does have it to work with now. I think Fiery might have to flip in order to get rid of it. Zoe has to flip to keep it up, actually. But there it falls naturally. Nope.
So much meter available for PPL, though, but they have to use it to get it out of there. Bloom, what a great strike war right on the barrier. Make sure it stays alive. Now Assertive might have to burn flip soon, but they get a KO. Oh, and the barrier still stands.
And Fiery still has this flip to work with. He's kind of fishing with that pendulum swing there. And the Cyber Swipe, very short range, catches Maloon's out clear there. She has the flip here to work with and covering the space. And yeah, Octavia ult, the space is covered. And there's really not much that Maloon can do with no cooldowns there. Very clean offense in the corner there.
One goal away from really turning the game into their favor, right? They are low on meter right now, so they do have to be careful, especially with all that damage coming out. The Deadeye Slimes doing so much work. Expo almost dead.
Ooh.
That was really clean,
Fiery goes for the flip, but it was in the middle of Expo's dash, so it might have saved her life there. Wait, the pendulum swing confirms the kill on the orb.
Yeah, really important for PPL.
Really important. There. Let's get dangerous.
It's so important for PPL to not let this game get out of control, right? Really important points, and Fiery, reminiscent of the previous set, finds a finish in the end, and we're at a 0.5.
Yeah, as soon as Assertive did that dash there, they were able to find a way to keep the ball despite it, and they had a really strong offense going on because of it. When Luna doesn't have that dash to work with, the offense is a lot easier to execute for the side of PPL.
Yeah, well, we will see what happens here. Zoe the Witch, flip available almost. As Assertive, perfect dash, finds the barrier, and Zoe's forcing it in.
No way.
Had the flip as well. What a perfect play by the goalie and the brawler, the Octavia brawler. And this is exactly what they needed, a first pick as well.
If there's one spark here, there's no sparks to work with, but there is peak performance, which is arguably better, honestly, with two sparks. One of them is spark resilience, one is agility. The peak performance is scaling with both. You're getting that extra movement speed, and you have that more resilience. So that's a lot of movement speed going on Zoe the Witch. Rasmus does get stacks on stacks, which is probably the other big highlight in this draft. Everything else is a bit more tame, like dash range on Amy, Deny from Timeless Creator on Luna. But really notable is Octavia picking up peak performance here, because she'll be very fast.
Alright, well, Zoe the Witch, and now the main character here needs to make the difference, and the flow state runs out, but the core still being kept in possession. Average Alex forward, but Assertive with the strike war, looking as clean as ever, and these Luna dashes have been so good from Assertive, setting up everything, but the defense comes through from PPL, the barrier stays alive. Okay, well, my bad.
But yeah, Equican gets in there, kind of beating out the layered strikes. Average Alex goes for that dash range, but doesn't find the barrier quite yet.
That was such a clean play by Assertive, too. Used the rocket to simulate a strike against Average Alex. It's a little bit better at the coverage as well. And now in a dangerous spot is Average Alex.
Oh, Fiery doesn't get the secondary hit, doesn't refresh his strike there that could have taken the barrier. But Average Alex is covering a lot of space with this dash range. And the flip from Zoe the Witch is not quite able to find it, but does trade one from Loom. Oh, but a pendulum swing finds the kill on Zoe.
Yeah, but Expo Chan's going in. Glitch Pop looking for a tricky play, but the angle is not what you were looking for there.
I understand. I see the vision, but yeah, just a missed execution. Doesn't quite find it.
Oh, and Fiery can't catch the
I know how
core.
we can win this point.
Wait, Zoe the Witch, perfect! That defense was excellent there. Assertive still in trouble, but Fiery can't quite get a clean shot, and Zoe the Witch sends it away with the plink a little bit there. Assertive with a good dash, but can't quite get to Average Alex's shot in time. Great shot by Average Alex, cut the bleeding. CYBR were almost styling on them right there.
Yeah, Average Alex having dash range is very noticeable in this game. I'm already seeing so many just massive jumps to cover all of this open space, because again, at the start of this, I was saying that they need to pass a lot for this team composition to really work. And Average Alex being able to do that, as soon as he wants, to cut anything he wants, is very, very valuable for him.
Assertive and Expo Chan combining for the barrier now, looking for an offensive try. Zoe the Witch keeps the core in the hands, but a weird spot to be in as Average Alex gets a good defense. Now the bounces are unpredictable. Bloom strike shot is good, but CyberSwipe now have a bit of a window. Fiery looking to close it here, but can't get in range for the flip right now. Fiery, though, flips Expo Chan off the edge, and another power play created for PPL. A strike war win, a whiplash, and they converge to take the lead.
The base knockback on the flip there, taking the KO, is what they really needed to get that point rolling, because as soon as they got the kill there, it was pretty much curtains to close it out in the 3v2.
Yeah, and on the top side now, Expo Chan, Average Alex fighting it out, and Expo taking a bit of damage here. Fiery is so tanky as well, so hard to deal with in the damage department. The Luna not even putting a dent into the Rasmus right now. Zoe the Witch pushing forward, trying to buy space, but Expo Chan's the one who's looking incredibly low. This Imi's taking so much damage.
Yeah, the Deadeye Juno doesn't have quite as much core speed as 1-2 Punch would, but the extra damage is honestly not something to scoff at. It's actually putting in a lot of effort. Keeping Expo low is pretty valuable because it keeps them from making those aggressive plays as soon as they can. It's really back up, and this offense is barely not enough.
Yeah, they almost got there. Expo low once again. Zoe the Witch with a lot of meter and Assertive with flip. Zoe pushing forward. The crater comes down, but it's not enough still. Flip down in front of the net. Bloom, does he have a cooldown? Just deflects it with the strike. Perfectly timed. That's why Bloom was top tier on the drop letter ranking. And now Zoe the Witch. Wait, what?
Bloom was top tier on the drop letter rankings. And Average Alex finds that breakaway with the dash. Flip is baited out in Assertive. This could be a turn in their favor. The water cannon is coming in. I know how they can win this point. It's just like that.
Yeah, we're very familiar. The water comes in, the set is won, and now it will be another draft in the favor of PPL, and Hotshot could appear here. Average Alex could turn the game around, and Hotshot does come through.
One thing that's notable is that Spark of Focus is right here. They absolutely cannot let that get through. So if Average Alex takes Hotshot, which I think he should, Fiery will no matter what have to take Spark of Focus, and CYBR can draft with that in mind.
Yeah, they do have that slight advantage there, and Explosive Entrance picked up a little bit more speed on the Flow State Missile prop. Will add up for Assertive, but I don't think the damage is really the win condition for CyberSwipe, right? It's quite the opposite. Yeah.
They're not really getting any valuable damage on the board in any goals that they're winning, especially. And one thing I noticed last set is that I'm pretty sure every single time PPL scored last set, it was starting with a momentum shift from Average Alex's dash range. It's really, really paying off just having that mobility over the map. And they really have to get rid of Zoe's flow state here because they're running very fast and eventual offense with the water cannon capping it off. And even at the very end of it, Zoe the Witch keeps that flow state as she hits the ball in the net.
Yeah, it's looking quite good here for CyberSwipe after that. As long as they can keep the Hotshot Slimes, the core speed contained, as long as Zoe the Witch has enough speed, has enough stagger to get in there and make sure the Slimes can't get long shots, I think they have what it takes, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard on the execution, but speaking of execution, Expo Chan in there, the barrier gone. Average Alex looking for an interaction, but the water cannon comes through yet again. Expo almost scores there, but it's Zoe once again with the base drop, and CYBR have turned it around once again.
Yeah, you can't hit stun on Octavia when she's base dropping. It's going to happen anyway. And they didn't really defend with that in mind, I guess. But Bloom has that flip to work with for this next point. If Average Alex can find something with Hot Shot against a pretty slow and not much like range goalie like Luna, then they can really sneak the core past her. But the issue is, oh yeah, the barrier's been taken already. They're not really finding the space to work with because it feels like CYBR is just everywhere.
Yeah, the water cannon ineffective this time. The one saving grace for PPL. The Expo Chan with flip available though is so scary to cyber swipe in despite the hit stun coming out. Just buffers it right through. A perfect flip to the bottom corner, and we're already on a set 5.
That was a very fast set for the cyber side. It was an answer, honestly, for the side of cyber swipe. And the issue is here, Octavia has to choose between a third spark and Cast to Last. I think I would personally be taking Cast to Last here because she has explosive entrance already. And I honestly, at this point, would not call it an issue. They do have to deny the Spark of Strength from Fiery anyway, because he could have gotten 3. But really the highlight in this draft is Octavia has a lot of base movement speed with her Sparks, and peak performance, and Cast to Last, and a dash range. This character is going to be very fast, very hard to shut down, and she's going to take over the lobby unless PPL finds some resounding answer to it.
Yeah, and there's going to be another side effect, right? A secondary problem for PPL, and it's that specialized training Luna. And it's also missile prop, so that's a lot of knockback possible. Of course, you're probably going to evade it every single time, but if you're ever caught evadeless, PPL are in a lot of trouble.
That's true. And one thing with open maps, actually, is that the Cast to Last is not as threatening in this kind of map than it is in a more closed one like Taiko Temple, because the ball is a lot more likely to kind of stall around. And if PPL can find that kind of situation more, it's not easy to force. Oh!
Expo! What a catch! Waited until the very last bounce, timed it perfectly to the bottom side, got it around the expanse. That was perfectly played by the IME of Cyber Swipe. With the Cyber Swipe, they're 1-0 up, 2 goals away from making the first game theirs against PPL, the NASA champions.
Not just that, but Fiery lost his own flip down to the water cannon at the very end of the point there. If it went any sooner, he would have his flip at the start of this. Oh, yeah. The Average parries Zoe's flip there. Knocks it away.
But Zoe does not stop. Cast Last coming through. A great backwards dash by Assertive, but the barrier still falls. Fiery to Average Alex. They got to use the hot shot. The time is now. They're trying to cover both sides, and they will find it to even up the game.
Yeah, all you really have to find to get rid of that Cast Last, as long as she's playing it in a more slow and methodical manner, is just one missed strike from Zoe, and the ball will slip past, and she has no time to catch back up to it. It was kind of lucky from them at that time for PPL, but it's not impossible to find it, and all they really need is find it 2 more times. They already took the barrier. They have the water cannon coming in. This is looking like a good point for them.
Oh, but the slimes might be a problem here, especially when you have an open net to your back. You got to be so careful of Average Alex. The water cannon comes through. This is how PPL can still win this point. The strike shot as well from Bloom, and the jump in from Average Alex. We were talking about the dash range. Didn't really come into as much play, but like that was 2-1 now. They're in the lead. The game has turned around.
Yeah, honestly, PPL is holding their own despite this massive draft for Octavia, because really she can only be in one place at once, and she has to keep up that flow state or else they lose the game, right? It's such a difficult condition, and the barrier's already been taken for the side of PPL. It's looking so dangerous, and the water cannon has yet to be used.
Oh, Expo Chan, that glitch pop might have been a mistake, and Fiery capitalizes. Bloom is so happy to see that one. Gets the save, gets the goal, and PPL, they're NASA champions for a reason.
Luna's caught dashing by the water cannon, gets completely blown away, and Fiery's able to capitalize off of that. They take game 1 in Inky's Splash Zone in a very close set 5 game.
I will say, though, Cyber Swipe, that was still a great performance, right? They brought it all the way. They made PPL really sweat. And I think that they have the possibility to win the next 2 games because this was PPL's map pick.
It was.
It was, and Cyber Swipe played it quite well, so I'm looking forward to the next 2 maps. But for now, it is a PPL victory. They get away with the skin of their teeth. By the skin of their teeth. Like, that was not an easy match for PPL by any means.
Yeah, things were looking very, very scary with the draft that Octavia was finding. It was honestly, like, one of the best builds you can ask for as an Octavia player, of any of them, really. Any, like, combination of 5 Awakenings. And they had to, thankfully, Fiery did have that Spark to work with, because he started on the Spark, so he was able to take focus and not have, like, any problems taking it. And I do think the focus, having the lower cooldown on his hook, was very valuable for them. Because if you have a lower cooldown hook, you can interrupt plays more, and the way you get rid of Octavia's flow state is by interrupting her plays. Right? Because I think that was really what was working for them in that last set. Juno's jump, Octavia hook, those things were, I think, integral to getting rid of that Castellast, because I don't think they could take a point without getting rid of that flow state.
All right, well, Taiko Temple is up next, and we saw that Cyber Swipe was excelling at that map in particular. The Awakenings are a little bit. I don't think we've had a single honest Awakening start, by the way.
There's no such thing.
Take a look.
What is it? Oh my.
No honest
Catalyst
Awakening
on you.
starts. Yeah.
Well, now is going to be quite a high priority in this series. Catalyst is probably going to be picked by everyone but now. Though I will say I would be shocked if Rune got through this draft, because both teams love to play him, and PPL has the blue side. So if Cyberswipe leave Rune open, I would not be surprised if Average Alex locked it in B1.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. What are your thoughts on the brawler situation in this game? Do you think that Cyber is gonna go for the Dubu yet again?
I can't predict anything about Cyberswipe's draft. I'm going to be completely clear. They can do anything, honestly, and I would not be shocked. I think PPL has to be ready for whatever combination of any three characters can be sent out by this team. However, I will say PPL is probably a little easier to predict. I would probably see Fiery on a character like Asher this game, because Asher is very strong on Taiko Temple. Fiery is good at the character, and the way the start is, Catalyst Monu, it's looking like they might want to go for something like Now Asher, which is a very strong forward duo.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how they pick. And of course, as you predicted, there is a rune ban, but it looks like PPL are not interested in picking it.
I think, yeah, they're banning Rune because I think they want to play Now Monu, and that forces Cyberswipe to ban it out, so they get to pick whatever they want right now. I would probably higher value a midfielder because two of them have just been banned. So if you don't pick a midfielder now, it can get a little scary with the availability of the pool. But they might want to instead opt for a different kind of pick, like a Catalyst Asher or a goalie, even like a Catalyst Mako. Yeah, there's the Asher. Yeah, Asher's B1. And it could technically be Bloom on Asher. Cyber cannot like confidently assume that Fiery is going to lock in the Asher, so they do have to draft with the fact that it could be Asher in either role in mind.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. And the Dubu does come through. Cyber Swipe, lock it in. There's the Dubu.
There it is.
There are many forms of Cyber Swipe, but I would like to believe that there is no world in which they flex it to goalie.
Yeah, no, that's never happening. The Dubu lock-in is not a flex pick on this team. It is very confidently going to the side of Zoe the Witch. And the
Alright.
Amy comes in too, yeah.
Yeah.
That's comfort for them, honestly.
It's Cyber Swipe. They're so unpredictable that I thought I was going to predict this, and I didn't because I was afraid of being wrong. But
Well, they're going for the exact comp they played last time on Taiko Temple. Bloom locks in Atlas and Average Alex was on Juno. This is a very clean composition for the side of PPL. And I do think this is not favored for Cyberswipe at all. I think PPL has a much, much better draft going on here because Atlas doesn't care like nearly as much about whatever Dubu can do to him. And I think Amy has a bit of a difficult time getting past Juno's just big like field of slimes.
oh, they're doing it again.
They're doing it again. There's the Era, yeah.
Right.
But Era might kind of get blown in the dust by Juno if she gets that core speed, that hot shot 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
So if they find some value in that, it might just fly past her.
Her goalie seems so difficult to play against Juno. I don't know. Like, what
I
do you do? You have no
I would
buttons.
be shocked if they find many convincing defenses versus this comp whenever they're in that situation.
We'll have to see how it goes. This Juno, once again, the focal point. We did focus on it the previous game, and it was nullified quite well by CYBR, so maybe they're just the best anti-Juno players of all time, you know?
Maybe. It could be. It could be. But we'll see how Average Alex tries it out here. He's going to be a bit of a different player from Julok, right? So we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, heading into game, Taiko Temple loading up, and once again, it is PPL trying to reclaim that top spot here versus CyberSwipe. And it's a bit of a long bracket, so I think both teams would rather win here, advance to the winners final, and guarantee themselves the top 3 rather than have to fight through the very, very extensive losers bracket with so many teams trying to make it. Pass is starting all the way in losers round 1, by the way. Like, that team
Yeah.
is going to be really, really scary for any team that has to face them.
One thing that's worth pointing out, because they're willing to lock Aragoli on this map, that does open up Monumentalist, which is in the starting Awakenings. So she might have a little more to work with in that end. And the double beam comes in at the start, but it wears off instantly. I don't like this character. All good.
Yeah, the days of Bozo Bunch I picking Era every game are long gone at this point. It's ancient history.
These beams don't work like they used to, but it's all good. Assertive goes for the corner clear. It doesn't quite work, but it's fine because it's the first barrier on Taiko. A solid angle from Expo Chen sets up that second barrier in the corner offense, though. They can really convert this.
I thought there would be a big opening there, but Mloom just stepping up with the expanse. They do find a KO, though, on the tail end of the play, but Mloom is playing so well in this midfield area.
Yeah, the flip in the turret here, this is looking really dangerous for them. They spend both, but Mloom gets it away. No, Expo Chen meets the way the ball goes there, and is able to find a clean shot in the upper end of Mloom's goal there. He wasn't ready for that at all, and he had to walk back up, but Atlas is not able to cover all that space instantly.
That was so clean. That really could have been a scary situation there, right? But the NATO comes in, Assertive finds a KO onto the Brawler, and if they can find KOs like that with the NATOs, that's the game being completely different than what we expected.
Yeah, there's Manu again. Expo Chen goes for something stylish on the glyph pop there, but doesn't quite work. But as Amy, you gotta go for it. I mean, this character has a lot of room to work with, and if you're not representing those options, you're kind of losing out in a lot of threat. They find a breakaway here, but Expo Chen only really suffers for it. Yeah, yeah, the damage comes in from Average Alex and Maloom, and Expo Chen's taken out.
Oh, and Zoe actually put Fiery in a dangerous spot there with the bounce off the center, but the strike wars are being won. Fiery finally gets one, and now is in a really good spot with a Tofu Fortress, awkwardly enough. Average out the meter available as well. They cleared away, and the CyberSwipe. Oh, the glitch pop almost reading the clear from Bloom, but not quite. So the Witch looking to set up, but here is a dangerous defense for Assertive. The flip comes through, and the goal does as well. And the game is evened up at 1-1.
It's so dangerous for Era as soon as that core gets in that 1v1 situation when Fiery's like in that spot with primary and flip, and he has everything and he's in such a good position. There's just an instance of he baited out the strike shot from Assertive, and he was able to find like the most comfortable offense of his life. But instantly, a tornado sets up a double barrier for the side of CyberSwipe. They're responding instantly. That was a fast point, a convincing one too.
Yeah, as soon as there's any kind of opening, Expo Chan's there. Ruthless took both barriers in the same action, basically. Found a dribble off one into the other, and PPL, they can't leave gaps like that, right? Especially against CyberSwipe. This is a comp that is really struggling on the defense, so you just have to keep this comp on the defense as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, if they... Yeah, it's a kind of crumbling comp, but not at all in the midfield. The composition is not strong when the ball gets up, but that's kind of the point of it, because they're so good at keeping the ball up in the first place, that ideally they won't ever have to get in that situation ever. And the side of the tornado here is pretty threatening, because as soon as she has that cooldown, she can cut out a lot of offenses that PPL might want to go for.
Yeah, oh, the long range Was Astral Projection coming out from Bloom there. The barrier doesn't follow though. Good strike by Assertive. And now the offense begins once again for Fiery. And the NATO's not enough to interrupt it. A flip by Average Alex to the bottom side. A flip used at a dangerous spot, but they get it right through the Tofu Fortress. The instability of that ability actually proving to be useful for Cyberswipe there and getting through it the other way around. And now Zoe the Witch has possession, looking for an angle, but the flip's burned early and the resources are dwindling by the second.
That was actually a clean from PPL, but oh, Cyberswipe comes out. Expo-Chan might not have flipped now, but this offense is still very strong for them. The Expanse is forced out, but they don't get any like convincing stall off of it. But they are spending bit by bit their cooldowns to keep this ball out of the hands of Cyberswipe, and it's long enough for Fiery to come back. He has a chance to make something happen here, and he does it with the primary here. Gets it out, and Fiery is able to win that interaction one-on-one versus Assertive and score the goal.
It's 0.5. These two teams have made it so close, and it really comes down to the possession game, right? If there's a big offensive possession by PPL, they often just get so much out of it. But if Cyberswipe can keep it forward, use their long-range abilities, use their creations to make it difficult for PPL, and as a power play comes through PPL, less difficult now as one berry goes down.
Dash punch from Fiery, yeah, this is kind of what we were seeing, especially last time Cyberswipe was playing, was that when they find this kill, they have such a massive advantage from it. They're able to confirm it into a goal pretty reliably. But I think, in my opinion, this time it's on the side of PPL that they get this high value. Though they only found one barrier off of it this time. The wall's beaten out by the Expanse. There's two melee goalies fighting each other.
Expo-Chan going in for a Cyberswipe, looking for an opportunity. The Tidal ability not quite finding the barriers as Expo-Chan's incredibly low, staggered by the slime, and Fiery going in as well, looking for another opportunity as Fiery, but away from the play. Defense coming through from Cyberswipe as Fiery looking for a strike, but still deflected away, and Zoe the Witch lingering strike box just enough to be anti-flip there. Assertive can't reach the core for the moment. That gives Average Alex a chance on the other end of it, and Fiery will convert into a barrier. Another opportunity for Fiery, still has so much meter on the table, and Bloom has a flip as well, an own barrier, but so much room to play with for PPL. Still having that flip insurance on Bloom is so valuable, but can they get it through all the way to Fiery? And the breakthrough will do it, doesn't even need the flip.
Finding a straight shot through the forwards of the Cyberswipe, it gets it perfectly to Fiery, and all he has to do from there is dash, hitting both the core and Assertive at the same time. And the hot shot is there. I see it. I see it. This is notable. This is very, very strong for the side of PPL. Hot shot versus both Amy and Era. It's very difficult for either of those two to handle that awakening on Juno.
After that, the upside's kind of scuffed, right? Like, they do get solid awakenings, they do get explosive entrance, and they do get aerials for more speed across the team. But when you look at that hot shot, and when you look at Fiery also getting the stagger swagger, I think PPL are very, very happy about this one, and Cyber not too happy.
Yeah, it looks like Expo-Chan taking the dash range is going to have to look for a lot more Cyberswipe kills, because if they find that, they can kind of offset the core speed, the lack of possession that they find from the hotshot, you know, and very, very strong corner offense with the Dubu. They find themselves in the perfect spot to get it done there.
The Tofu Fortress is mightier than the Expanse, I guess, sometimes. Not always. But
sometimes, occasionally.
Yeah, very occasionally, and Zoe the Witch has gotten it done here. Bloom now in a dangerous spot. Expo covering the top side to NATO, opening a hole in the bottom, but the Expanse is so massive, and Zoe is staggered. PPL succeeding the defense. A shot off the center, not quite enough for Cyberswipe to find anything close to a goal at the moment, but a flick by Expo, finding the strike after the Cyberswipe, after the primary. It's not enough though, and the barrier's taken, and the shot to the other side. Assertive in such a bad spot, still manages to defend, but Cyber are on the back foot still.
Yeah, hot shot showed in action right there. Assertive was just a few inches out of the way, and that's enough time for the core to travel all the way to that barrier. And Zoe goes for a flip here into a glitch pop. Average Alex is not old enough to be able to get scored on by that quite just yet. However, is looking not incredible for them. If Fiery can find a kill here, doesn't quite get it as Zoe's bounced off the Taiko drum.
To the top side, the glitch pop. Expo-Chan in position, perhaps. Bloom strike wars it to the bottom side. Fiery down. Zoe the Witch looking for an opportunity, but Expo so much room to play with, and the Astral Projection will fall short. A great shot by Expo. Great patience to wait on the top side for the core to eventually pop up.
Yeah, Zoe knows to set up that bumper when the Bloom is so hard committed to this lower half of the map. Atlas can't quite cover that, even if he has that strike shot to extend the range.
Yeah, and now, once again, in a dangerous spot, our Cyberswipe. They almost dash pop Bloom off the map, but it's not enough. The goalie stays alive. The flip stays afloat for PPL. They find the defense here. Cyber Swipe do, but it's still such a dangerous spot to be in.
Fiery is really finding himself in the midst of all three of them, and he's getting bullied for it, but he's not quite dead, especially with the Atlas res to save him and heal him up.
Good for Cyber Swipe, though, that they do burn Bloom's flip there. An awkward bounce does mean that the energy is gone from the goalie, but it's still a dangerous corner situation. Expo-Chan trying to find a double barrier, perhaps, to keep the possession up, but again, they can't catch up to the core just enough. Assertive, though, with a great angle around the slimes, prevents the last barrier from going down. Cyber Swipe still keeping it alive here, but it's so difficult against the Juno, against the Asher in your face, and with Fiery having flip, they need to keep it away by any means.
I'm seeing a lot of very strong micro plays from Alex this game, maybe even last two. Like, I'm seeing him walk outside of the range of Cyber Swipe, or of Glitch Pop, and then strike wearing it right after. Getting these tiny interactions, winning them, is very valuable for them, especially when they only need one strong interaction to win the point.
Oh, speaking of one strong interaction, Cyber Swipe go for that right there, but the flip does not connect. And now Expo-Chan meterless, needs to be careful. The passport doesn't connect either, though. So Expo will be nice and healthy here. All it takes is one pass now. One good opportunity. Zoe the Witch with the Tofu Fortress could look for one as well. Rolls to keep possession. Walks up. This is the Cyber Swipe classic, but they can't keep the core contained.
Yeah, but this turret might pose a better offense. It doesn't quite as it slips by, but the offense is not quite lost for Cyber Swipe yet. The Juno ult poses a threat and Zoe's forced to flip off of it, but there's no scary defense they have to play quite yet. And the Glitch Pop is dangerous, but the Expanse bats it away. It's on cooldown now. If they want to find the goal, now's the best time. Dribbles past the Atlas primary and the wall's forced out. Oh, the Cyber Swipe is used, but it's not enough.
Yeah, now Assertive good clears around Fiery. Another chance in the core speed, just a little bit too fast from Loom to get there. Cyber Swipe, 2-0 lead, one more point and they even up the game. And they're keeping it close just like the last.
Bouncing off the Taiko drum gives that core speed just enough for Maloom not to quite get there in time. Nice. Zoe the Witch has a large strike hitbox is what I'm seeing from that big fish pickup. That could be a very notable factor here.
Yeah, it's looking quite good as Zoe is just pulling the core from all the way across, but Assertive, the Bewitching Beam barely missing, dangerous spot, and Expo's KO doesn't come through. Average Alex barely survives, and Fiery takes the Dubu out on the other end of things. Now a dangerous spot here as Expo and Assertive on the defense. They remain solid. Expo wins so many interactions, and Assertive a flip at the very last, but Average Alex has a coverage strike, and the barrier will fall.
That was great from Alex. He used the primary to cover that time, and during that time he was walking down to go to where Assertive would want to hit it. That gave him a lot of room to work with, and it got the barrier very convincingly. And this defense is looking very strong for PPL. It's going to be pretty hard to score on an Asher that's walking back and an Atlas.
Alright, looking for another opportunity is PPL, trying to get it to Fiery at the right time, but the NATO is good. The strike war is won by Fiery, but Assertive's there, and Zoe the Witch to back it up. A flip out from Zoe, and the dash from Average Alex not quite catching it there. Zoe out of position thanks to the dash from Fiery. Now looking for another opportunity is Expo-Chan, but Lumen just has so much patience, so much defensive comfortability, but finally the barrier falls, and Expo, an immediate strike war win, caught everyone off guard, and that's a set win.
That barrier take, just as it slipped past the forwards, barely past the strike hitboxes, put Expo in a perfect situation to take that barrier and run some offense even afterwards. Very impressive, and Zoe the Witch gets first pick here. There are a few options to choose. It could be among Titans, because you already have that size awakening, so it's not like you're decreasing too much. And they go for the missile propulsion. I think she wants to get some kills maybe with a log or wall, or even just some using that wall as a longer range attack. Because it makes it less threatening at point blank because it can go through, but it gives that deployment a lot more value.
Yep. Well, we are heading into yet another set here. Zoe the Witch now has that long-range Tofu Fortress threat perhaps, but it's gonna need to be executed here, and it does. The core trap, but maybe trapped a little too well as it doesn't get out of the top side. Yeah,
the Asher roll was kind of dribbling it back into the wall. It was a great stall for PPL. It's a lot better than hitting it back into the Dubu wall. And yeah, Maloon can't quite find any defense versus a Cyber Swipe there.
Average Alex top side, flip burn from Expo. Importantly, that lack of resource is going to be important, and that's a KO by Fiery as well. The power play coming through, but Zoe looking for a miracle play, flips a little bit too preemptively there, and now with no energy, Cyber Swipe, they still manage to stall.
One thing valuable but not quite covered in that draft is that CyberSwipe got both Rapid Fire and Prime Time in that draft. CyberSwipe got Rapid Fire Amy and Prime Time Era. It is quite valuable to have that uptime on the cooldowns because it gives them a lot more control over the middle of the field, especially considering that's what they really need. That's their win condition, to have that control.
They flip it up to the top side. Expo continues the momentum, but it's not enough. Bloom with a good save once again. And the glitch pop attempt is blocked away by Average Alex's flip, but the midfield is being controlled by Expo right now, looking for an opportunity, but Average Alex with good placement sends it around, and Fiery, no hesitation, gets it past before the Bewitching Beam can even form. Zoe the Witch with the flip. The Expanse disappears, but it's not enough still. The barriers are gone, but the goal still stands for PPL.
Chen has a flip to work with here, and maybe even a Cyber Swipe. This could be dangerous for Bloom, but he has probably a secondary, so he doesn't have to worry too hard. And the Zubu Wall sends it in some direction, but they're able to react and cover it.
And that coverage from Average Alex was crazy. Made it so that Bloom didn't have to defend that flip. A big opportunity for PPL now as the NATO comes in. A Slime goes out, trying to find the passes, but goes right to Zoe, who has an opportunity. Expo Chan Strike Wars the flip, and that's how the point ends in the favor of Cyber.
Yeah, CyberSwipe's finding a lot of these breakaways is what it looks like to me. Because it feels like Maloom is holding perfectly until one moment. And that one moment, they score off of it every time.
Yeah, they're very explosive and they're very good at... oh no, Bloom. On the bright side, generated around 2 bars of energy there, but is almost taken out and has to evade, so... just loses the barrier in the end of it all. And now Expo building up a flip, a KO found... and a big opportunity for Cyber.
A lot of damage dealt from Fire in that corner situation because they had so much to work with in terms of cooldowns. They did spend their flips earlier on this, so they don't have it to defend from Average Alex right now. But there's nothing too threatening as Dubu's able to cover all the space that Average Alex wants to play in.
And oh, there's the dash into flip from Expo Chan, looking for another opportunity here, but Average Alex clears it away. Bloom pushing forward, stalling out the play as long as possible. Still has Expanse, I think. No, does not. And that's the barriers falling here. Zoe the Witch now with the dribbling play. Shot to the top side, hits them from Expo, but Bloom manages to buffer the strike in time. And once again, PPL are holding, but all it takes is one opportunity. And there's the glitch pop to cover from Expo. 2 goals up now, our Cyber Swipe.
Yeah, very solid. They're finding a lot of these synergistic plays, the flip and dash, that could have been the goal if they hit the core at the same time. But even then it was still threatening and forced a lot out of Bloom. They're finding a lot of very scary offenses going on, and PPL is... honestly, it feels like they're able to hold it a lot less as the game is progressing.
Yeah, and Expo, I think, is playing better and better as the game is progressing, too. We're seeing barely missed goals earlier on, but now we're seeing secure ones. Average Alex against everybody with Fiery there to help. Manages to win in the clump. It's just a cluster of strikes, and PPL come out on top.
Yeah, getting through these 3 strike hitboxes with the flip, that's not something you usually see, honestly. People have gotten very good at defending those, but all it really comes down to is just hoping it works. So CyberSwipe have to just move on from that and see how they can play this next point. It's honestly not that bad of a start. The barrier being taken is not awful for them because they get to play possession for it right afterwards. Though Bloom walking up here could pose a bit of a threat.
Oh, and the core speed poses an even bigger threat right now. Average Alex, so much speed on the Slimes. Bloom walking up, looking for a pass, but they let the core slip by. The Slime will cover it for now, but that's the momentum halted. CyberSwipe pushing forward now to Tofu Fortress, perfect. And Expo Chan going in, trying to keep the play going. A flip by Fiery to the bottom side, answered by a flip by Assertive. And now Zoe pushing forward once again, and Average Alex is going to have to do a lot here, but sends it around everybody for the goal.
So many flips back to back to back as they're answering each other, and Average Alex gets the last laugh, bouncing it off the Taiko drum, barely getting past Assertive for that angle in the goal. Very impressive.
Right, and looking for the final goal here, perhaps, for either team. Average Alex is caught up by the NATO, KO'd early. CyberSwipe looking good already in this critical point to take the lead.
Yeah, that NATO is insane. That gets the kill, and that's really the reason this offense is popping off so hard, because Average Alex is not here to defend it. He comes back, but it might be too late. As, Fiery barely is not scoring on himself there, because Average Alex can hold it.
Yeah,
PPL have to play on the back foot here.
Yeah, they send the core forward, but they're still on the back foot, like you said. Fiery has flip available, trying to find an opportunity to get it past the midfield. Fiery, though, staying alive here, incredibly low, but getting healed up now, and PPL not out of this one just yet.
That's right, Fiery does have the flip to work with, and he does barely not find that kill on Zoe the Witch. The strong hitbox is not found, but it's not too big of a deal for him as he gets to hold this flip for this offense. But this is not a great time to flip. He dies for it. Yeah, flipping at that moment puts you in such a dangerous spot, close to the corner. No great angles. Expo goes for the cyber flip and the flip. Doesn't quite find it. A lot is happening, and Maloom is not large enough to make it to that goal. He has him one time.
Yeah, big for Cyberswipe as they take the lead here, but I don't think Assertive's the one they wanted to be first pick here.
Yeah, I think Era doesn't really need Awakenings as much as the other players on this team do. Though she does get to look for something like a Twin Drive, maybe, or a Perfect Form. There's nothing insane to deny from Juno. However, peak performance is very strong on Juno, I will say. And there is resilience in the last draft for him to look out for. So he might find a lot from that. Perfect Form is taken from Dubu to Deny Atlas, and Amy gets Adrenaline Rush. I will say, Adrenaline Rush here is not that preposterous of a pick, because Expo is finding a lot of kills off of that Cyber Swipe and Glitch Pop, or Cyber Swipe into Flip.
And look at the creation combo there. The NATO and the Tofu Fortress working together quite well to take that first barrier, and Zoe still pumping strikes consistently up to the top side now, looking for a Glitch Pop, a creative play, a little too creative from Cyber Swipe, but they have 2 barriers to none, so who's to be the judge?
Well, that play was, I think, intended to be Glitch Pop before the strike, which would have been a lot stronger and maybe have actually scored the goal. So I can respect that from Expo Chen. It could have worked. And the Glitch Pop, oh yeah, striking there, barely not enough to find the goal on the open net.
And Zoe, with so much meter, has the flip available here. Needs to be careful of the pass splitter, but gets it out of the corner now. The Glitch Pop this time not connecting. For the Dubu with the flip in the midfield. A good strike shot by Maloon to barely get it out of there in time. Expo dribbling to Zoe. A perfect pass to the bottom corner, but still so much meter on the goalie and midfield of PPL.
Yeah, I feel like PPL is slowly finding their answers for that Zoe the Witch flip into Expo Chen's Cyber Swipe combo that they like to go for so much, but there is Expo Chen's own flip into their own Cyber Swipe, putting it in a great spot to shoot the ball and getting the goal off of it. Forcing out Maloom's flip, too, on the way. That's a great trade for them.
Yeah, played around the ranges perfectly, right? That was not inside Maloom's flip range at all, and also wasn't to average Alex either. Expo Chen with great aim, but they're going to have to do a lot more here as, oh, Zoe maybe going for a KO there. Average Alex staying alive. That meter still available for PPL. They get 1 barrier, but they can't get 2. Oh, they can't get 2.
They're able to save it. They can't get 2, yeah. And the strike wars are being won by Assertive and Zoe the Witch on this defense. And oh, there's a Cyber Swipe that's able to take the kill just off of base knockback alone. The Adrenaline Rush here is powerful. Expo Chen has the flip, he's forced to spend it just to not die. And Zoe the Witch, with that NATO, is looking like a very strong offense coming in. The roll stuns it, gets through the NATO like that, and Expo Chen is found out of position after that Cyber Swipe. It's looking like the offense has died now, along with Zoe the Witch.
Yeah, unfortunately, now PPL are continuing to send it forward. Average Alex has plenty of core speed to work with. Expo Chan tried to help defend, but the pass splitter just makes it a little too smooth. But the Glitch Pop helps defend perfectly. Expo makes the save and takes the barrier on the other end as well. Zoe the Witch pushing up, but the Tofu Fortress is not solid enough. And now it's a scramble situation for both teams as Expo has flip available.
Yeah, Maloom caught out of position for the barrier there, and Expo went for the Cyber Swipe, maybe even looking for a knockback kill in the net. Glitch Pop coming in, trying to confirm the goal, but this Glitch Pop doesn't travel fast enough for that. Alex goes for the flip here, but can't find anything insane off of it.
Fiery now in the 1-2-1.
Oh, wow.
That guy got so many strike resets. That's crazy.
He did, dribbling it into himself there, baiting out the strike shot and going for the strike in the dash. Beating out Era's flip because she can't, or her beam, because she can't flip while she's in beam animation.
Yeah, incredibly well played by Fiery. A clean scoring attempt there. And now, PPL, they need to make a bit of a comeback here, but I think if Fiery can find a good flip, that could be everything. But Cyber Swipe have so many creations, so many cooldowns, so many ways to deal with the flip.
They do. These creations are really popping off in these later sets as they get more to work with, and the game's getting a lot more claustrophobic as it progresses. And Fiery gets a bit of a setup here, but it's kind of hard to score on all 3 people defending like this, so they have to rotate it around.
Yeah, looking for another opportunity now, but that's a barrier take early. But there's a barrier return on the other side with some sheer core speed. Fiery now playing the corner, looking for an opportunity. And, whoa, forcing out the flip of Bloom. What a perfect angle.
Yeah, Bloom almost being caught out again there, but he's able to cover that with the flip. And, oh, the base knockback off the flip takes the barrier, kills Expo Chen. This is a strong situation for PPL. But oh, vertical NATO stalls out the play, almost kills Average Alex. It's looking like they might have to find something unique here.
Right.
Fiery just evaded the flip from Assertive. What?
Fiery's going crazy. Fiery does not want to go to a third game. Finds the goal, finds the crazy evade, and does it yet again. PPL now, they need to secure this goal. They need to find a way back, but they need to be careful, right? Cyber Swipe, one opportunity, and they're scoring.
Yeah, well, that flip would have maybe even, oh, but he gets Cyber Swipe there. It's kind of a tit for tat on the survival there, but Averdux is able to find the stall off the foreflip into weight. Yeah, Juno's cooldowns here, it's kind of hard for him to break through her.
Yeah, there's so many slimes available. The Witch Pop is good. Expo Chan manages to trade one barrier back, but Fiery using the size, just gliding across everything here. The NATO will stall for a second. The core speed try and mix up Expo Chan. And now Expo going for a barrier take here. The Expanse will stop it though, and the slimes will as well. And Cyber Swipe now, it feels like their momentum is slowing down. They're using so many cooldowns in the midfield.
Yeah, Avergox is really able to keep this stuff up as long as he gets the... Oh! The beam is too long, and it flies past Assertive. There's the end of the set, and we're going to a set 5.
A big opportunity now for PPL. They can close out this series before it extends. They could make it so that Atlas's Gardeners and Ballers have to wait less. Or we're heading to a third game here. And this is a scary draft.
It definitely is. Oh, Fiery is prioritizing the extra special to deny it from Amy, perhaps, over Fight or Flight for himself. But the issue with Fight or Flight went undrafted. We're taking 1-2 punch on Amy and Timeless on Era, really playing into the KO for Expo Chan and the creation value on Assertive.
Is Timeless worth it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The fact that Average Alex gets stacks and stacks, or Fight or Flight and Bloom gets stacks and stacks is very notable for them. It's kind of hard for them to deal with this. All of this movement speed is what they really need, because as soon as they get that movement speed, they can start taking those possession. They can take possession and they can convert off of it even better. I don't know.
Yeah,
it could get a bit dangerous for the side of Cyber Swipe off of that draft.
Yeah, I think PPL are pretty happy with that one. They got what they needed, what they wanted. Fiery got the crucial deny to prevent the additional NATOs or the Firewall sentries from coming in. And now the core speed is really just picking up as well. Expo Chan going for a crazy bounce shot. Bloom with the resources and a KO found with the path splitter. Fiery in there once again with the flip available. The creations will stall once again, but Fiery still has the meter. Looking for an opportunity now in front of the barrier. Flips to try and get some damage on Expo, but Expo stays alive, but taking so much from the Juno.
Yeah, and Fiery is finding some offense here. The Jubu Roll is able to save it. The wall is not enough as Missile Propulsion sent it way too far. And the casino was lost on the side of Jubu, and they're getting some very strong offense here. And the hot shot is not able to get Fiery to win the strike war, but it sends it into a position where he can get the ball before Assertive can reach it. And that will guarantee the goal. Very strong from PPL, and it's looking like this draft is shaping up in their favor.
Yeah, it is looking quite good here. And we'll see if they can consistently continue it, though, because Cyber Swipe really profits off of inconsistency. One mistake, one opportunity, Expo's blinking in there, taking both barriers, and Zoe the Witch sets up for a goal. They have flips available. They need to use them. They need to cash out before Cyber can get any chance.
Yeah, they have all 3 flips to work with, and Fiery's only able to find the first barrier off of it based on the Dubu wall. Average Alex keeping the momentum, striking back into his barrier, not quite taking it, and they're getting some very strong corner offense going on here. They have 2 flips to work with. Bloom does not die to the Cyber Swipe combo from Expo Chan, and that's what she's drafted for. If she's not able to find that, I don't think they can take the set.
Flips available. They need to score. Bloom with a big opportunity in the midfield. Fiery building up one. Almost dead, but builds up the flip just in time. Now all it takes is one pass. Fiery positioning forward on the top side. Finds the flip, but answered by Assertive. Now Bloom up to Average Alex. They're looking for another way to find the score. The pass splitter too devastating. So much damage on the Expo, though, who has to retreat for a moment. And now Bloom sends it forward yet again. The Expanse, the NATO all coming in. So many creations as Average Alex forces it through with the core speed. And Expo still so low. Zoe the Witch can't find a clean clear because Bloom is there completely controlling the midfield, and there's the IME going off the field.
A snipe from Average Alex across the map, kind of masking his primary through the drum, and Assertive was barely able to save that. The wall comes through, but this is not good for Cyber Swipe.
They barely manage.
Flipping the pass. Bloom has a secondary. Yeah, you can't do anything about that secondary. He's just going to press it, and Fiery gets the strike board right after.
Really confident play by Bloom. Really good conversion by Fiery. Now they're 1 goal away. PPL trying to close the door on this series. CYBR making it close so consistently. But I think PPL have what it takes.
Yeah, especially if they take this barrier now. They don't, but they're not in a bad spot at all. I feel like, it sort of wins some valuable strike where the barrier was saved and won and lost off that.
The barrier's still standing. But, and the core sends to the other side. Expo-chan, maybe a chance. Oh, but the slime mixes up the timing and Assertive can't strike. It goes for a strike shot instead of the strike, and now both barriers are open. Fiery with an opportunity, sending it forward. Bloom walking up, knows that the game could be over here, and Expo-chan's glitch pop. Oh no! PPL
layering the strikes. Wow. What a match. I mean, it felt like PPL and CYBR were both playing so solid. And even though PPL took it 2-0, it felt like they couldn't blink for even a moment. Because if they blinked, then CYBR was getting some insane breakaway goal that clutched it up and sent it set 5.
It was set 5 both games.
Yeah, it was. And honestly, in both games, it was looking like CYBR was very, very strong and almost able to take it in both of them. So these really could have gone either way. What a solid series from both teams.
Yeah, and what I really liked about that in particular, right, is that CYBR forced PPL to adapt, right? Normally you expect like the better team to force the worst team, like in terms of like expectations, to catch up to them.
Yeah.
But CYBR coming in as the nasty team, like they forced PPL to adapt or lose, and really just pushed them all the way to set 5.
Yeah, it felt like over the course of both games, they were really having to figure out what CYBR was wanting and going for and making those plays off of, and figure out what they could do about it. And it felt like that reset between game 1 and game 2 when they picked such drastically different comps on different maps, right?
Yeah, well, and with that, that's our casting block done. Thanks for casting, Gret.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, might see you once in a while because you're now in the retirement home.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. But with that, we're going to go to a short break. Final series on stream of the day coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.